Hi everyone, and welcome to KavitaTV, where extraordinary women find extraordinary love. I'm so happy to have you here today because we have a special guest here. Her name is Sofia, and the way this is going down today is basically I'm going to be coaching Sofia live for you guys, and none of this is really rehearsed or planned. We've solidified her question to me, and I have a little bit of background around what she's experienced and how she was raised, but just a little bit, so that we can dive in deep into how to answer her question live right here. And you're gonna learn so much from this interaction. And I will definitely wrap it up with some love work for you guys after we've talked and drawn out what she needs, and then give you what you need out of this video. So, Sofia, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here. Really, this is just a heart-to-heart conversation, and we have people kind of looking into it. That's it. So tell me what you've been experiencing in your love life right now.
A drought.
A drought, yeah.
I've been having a challenge trying to find that sweet spot between being in action and staying open, but not trying too hard, not forcing it, detaching from it, enjoying the process. So usually I think I've tried every dating site that there is, and other things like speed dating. I recently tried to buy a ticket for a singles cruise that got canceled by the weather.
Yeah.
And so when I have those kinds of disappointments, then I think, well, maybe I'm trying too hard, and so I back off. And I just say, I'll just live my life, focus on the things that I have more control over, and in the path of doing that, I'm just gonna meet him. We're just gonna cross paths. And but then after a while of doing that and not having results, then I wonder, okay, so I'm treating my love life the way I wouldn't treat any other aspect of my life, where I'm much more of a go-getter.
Yeah.
So in that way, then I'm like, well, no wonder I'm not having results. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I go through those two extremes, and there's sometimes I wonder if those extremes are kind of rooted in some kind of ambivalence or fear that at this point in my life, if it's still possible for me.
Yeah. And I totally get that. So there's just this feeling of, I'm putting myself out there a lot, and online dating and trying out maybe something like this cruise, but it got canceled. But then also feeling like, okay, none of that's working. I'll just meet him. I'll cross paths with him. It'll just happen one day, and you kind of pull everything back, and then you just keep oscillating from those two places. And I have a feeling that is exhausting after a while. Is that accurate? Do you feel exhausted by that?
It's definitely hard to stay positive.
Yeah.
Oscillating between the two extremes.
Yeah.
And I know that from reading your blog, keeping my love light on is important.
Yeah.
But it's hard to keep your love light on when you're doing things and not even getting a good time out of it.
Yeah.
Like enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Or going the opposite, and I'm like, okay, I'll just work on me, focus on me, but then really feeling like you say you're out there, but you're not really out there.
Right.
And then going to that other level. So and either way, they just feel like different ways of dimming my love light, not that sweet spot of where I'm staying on, I'm staying open, I'm in the process, but I'm also detached from the outcome and not
like gripping or holding on to it so hard. Yes, that's brilliant. Okay, so and you're 45, right? And beautiful and 45.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that because I think it relates to a lot of women to hear that you're 45, looking for love and putting yourself out there. So I think that's beautiful. And tell me a little bit about your perception of your parents' relationship.
My parents really work, and they work, and sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. I just know that it works. They are going to have been married 55 years in August. So the bar is set high. I think I've been single long because that's what I want. I want something that's going to last. They're very committed to each other. I don't think either of them can imagine life without the other.
Yeah.
And they're also really amazing parents, and they seem to have like a good foundation of common values and goals, but at the same time are different enough to complement each other.
So they've
That's
set
what I'm looking for.
the bar pretty high,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they did.
Yeah. Okay, so a part of that is also playing a role in your love life. So when we think, like a lot of people will say to me, well, Kavita, I have like an amazing relationship with my parents. Like, how is that really impacting my love life? You know, if I have a good relationship with them. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have this distanced, not close, horrible even relationship with your parents, or if it's amazing, because it's still creating in our subconscious some rules, some beliefs that we don't even know that are there, that we're measuring our love life by. So of course you're looking for extraordinary love like your parents, but a bit of the bar in your subconscious has been set really high. So it kind of, the way I describe that is like, you know, let's say you're running track and you could practice as much as you want, but the hurdle is just so high that your physical body, and no matter how much you practice, would ever get you over that hurdle. And what that's also doing is causing a lot of pressure to get created in terms of getting it really right in your love life. Does that resonate with you? Like just the pressure of getting it right and perfect, or?
I think there's something to that. And I also think that I have a very different relationship with my dad than I do my mom. So they have a great relationship.
Yep.
But my relationship to each of them is very different.
Yeah.
So with my dad, it's more easygoing, it's more natural, we're more alike.
Yeah.
And so we get along much easier. With my mom, it's been a lot of work to get to where we are now, where we understand each other a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of myself in both of them, as different as they are.
Totally.
But so I've wondered sometimes too. I mean, I remember when I was younger, I used to think, I have a great relationship with my dad, so why is it so difficult for me to find a man that's suitable for me? It took me a while to wonder if maybe there were some things around my relationship with my mom, because we're the same gender.
Yeah.
That might be where
The fear
my challenges
or the
were coming
challenges
from.
Yeah, so I would say that there are layers to this for sure. But the first place that I can see for you is really this, like the bar being set really high. So the fear, that ambivalence that you're feeling, and the oscillating between like putting yourself out there and feeling like it's hard work because that's the only reason why you just be like, I give up and I'm just gonna focus on me, and then he'll just come and you go to the other end. And focusing on you is great, but we're hiding there too, right? And I think you know that. So the reason that's happening is because when we have the bar set high, and I'm gonna get into the mom thing in just a second also, but when the bar is set high around our role model of relationships, that's exactly what happens. We oscillate a lot because we go from, I've gotta try really, really hard to hit this like bar, wherever that is for you in your subconscious, right? So I've gotta try to get what they have. Or you go, I'm just never gonna have it, so I'll just give up. You know, and that's where those two things are happening. Does that make sense? So we need to bring the bar down, is what I'm saying. And the way that we do that is in your subconscious, we need to bring it down. And so I know you have an amazing viewpoint of the relationship, and I also know you know it's not perfect, but you know that all up here. So we need to kind of bring that it's not that perfect into here, like into an emotional place. So where we go with this to bring the bar down is I want you to talk to your mom and your dad separately. And I want you to ask your mom, what is it that, when they were starting out, when they were dating, before they got married, you know, when they were starting, what were the problems? Like, what were the ways that she didn't know if your dad was the right one for her, or she questioned things? Or when they got married, what was it like then? What was it like when they started to have children? What were the things that just weren't meshing at times, but they had to communicate through? But what you're targeting is the stuff that you may have never heard about, right? It's the information that you've never heard. And that information will actually have a visceral reaction for you. You'll be like, oh my God, Mom, I didn't know that, you know? And you'll start to feel down here the ways that they're not perfect. And that's what brings it down. And you're gonna do the same thing with your dad. Okay, so you're gonna do that in both places. And then you'll start to see that there isn't this perfect love that I'm looking for out there. So I can start to just enjoy any experience that I'm having and keep putting myself out there, because it'll be enjoyable, because it doesn't have to look perfect. There doesn't have to be all this pressure on my love life. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something that you knew before?
No one's ever, that's brand new.
Yeah, that's brand new.
And I knew you were hitting on something, because I started to feel a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah. Can you describe that feeling?
Just vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't know a better word for it.
Yeah.
You know, my parents are great people.
Yeah.
But to think that that I might have set it so high that I've kind of checked out, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
And I have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
So,
but it was also something you didn't consciously know
Right.
you were choosing. It was just like normal. Wow, like I should look up to them. They have an amazing relationship. That's just normal.
and I know it's not perfect. And
Yeah.
I know some of the stories.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable too, because it might be tough to ask my mom that question. My dad might be a little bit more forthcoming,
Yes.
but my mom will be tough.
Okay, great. That's great.
But that's
So-
probably more reason why I have to do it.
Yes, more reason why. But also, let me give you a little bit around mom. What is the fear around having the conversation with mom? Because when I talk about being really open, and you were saying that I just want to be open, really open, and not go from I'm open to closed off, which means you're not really open
Right.
inside, right?
Right.
Is going to this level so that you can get vulnerable with the people that already love you, especially for you, right? So you can go there with them, because then that creates the groundwork, or the soil, the good soil for you to start to do that in your love life with men. Because that's really what they're looking for, is that vulnerability. And I know you're the strong, successful, you've got books, woman, and you don't want to lead with that, and I know you're not, but that you're letting yourself go vulnerable so that you're attracting in a man that can hold you. Right? So all of you that are watching this and feeling inspired by what Sofia is saying and really have learned from her, please tell us what you got out of today's video and watching Sofia's story and what she really got out of this conversation. I want you to go over to KavitaJPatel.com, leave in the comments what it was like for you to experience this between me and Sofia, and what did you get out of it, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because we're gonna have so many more women coming on with their love stories and what they're struggling with, and how I can help them break through in love. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then if you want to get on to my exclusive email newsletter, then make sure when you're on Kavita J. Patel to sign up for any number of free things that are on that site, so that you get our exclusive surprises that I send out to my list often, and you're on that list for us. So how did that feel for you, just to hear kind of?
I know it's right because of how vulnerable I became.
Yeah.
So that's how I know that there was something to it.
Yeah.
And I have never had anyone tell me that before. Of all the different kinds of advice I get from different people, no one has ever said to me, well, your parents' relationship, the bar is too high, and
Yeah.
that's what you're setting yourself up for. That's the first time I'm hearing that. And if anyone else had told me anything similar to that, if anyone else had said that to me, I still wouldn't have known what to do about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so because like you said, I
Yeah.
know here
Yeah.
that it's not perfect. I
Yeah.
know that they've had their bumps, and I've seen it.
Yeah. of
But
course
there
you
might
have.
be some other things that earlier that, before I was born, that I don't know about. But that's not the same thing as knowing it here and having that heart wisdom inform what I do in my own love life.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, you're so
Thank you.
welcome.
That is a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because that's all new to me.
That's so great. And I know most of the advice that you get is like surface level stuff sometimes, right? And it's like these roots are still there. So I'm so happy that you could feel the truth in it. Because then I know I'm onto something, right? 'Cause it's your reaction to it. It's not just me giving you advice. So love it. And I can't wait to hear, what comes out of this for you. So really excited to hear
Can't
about
wait to
that.
share.
Yeah.
Gotta do it first.
Yeah.
I will.
Awesome. Thanks, Sophia.